When I was a kid, I hung out a lot by default with this girl named Katie. I honestly didn't like Katie at all. She was dumber than a bag of hammers and annoyed me most of the time, but she and I were both outcasts, so we kind of had no choice but to befriend each other. Katie was always doing things that were marvels of stupidity. I am honestly amazed she made it to adulthood, given how little regard she has for her own safety or other people's. She also lied all the time. The poor child was a real piece of work. When we were about 10, we went out trick or treating together. We went by ourselves as my neighborhood was generally pretty safe, and I, at least, was smart enough not to do anything spectacularly dangerous. So, our parents were fine with us going out. Just the two of us, as long as we were back by 9 o'clock. Everything was fine until we got to one particular house at the end of a long street. It didn't look to stand out in any way, but there were no Halloween decorations of any kind, just a porch light on. We decided to try it for candy. There were no other kids around at this time, just us. A man in his 50s opened the door and we said, "Trick or treat." He looked around for a moment, realized we had no parents with us, and said, "Why don't the two of you come inside and show me a few tricks, and then we'll see about treats." Katie, dipshit that she was, immediately said, "Okay," and stepped through the doorway. I grabbed her and hauled her back out onto the porch, said, "No way, you creep," and dragged her away from the house. She protested the whole time, saying she thought he had good candy and even claiming that she knew the man, that he was a personal friend of her family, so she knew he wouldn't hurt us. Keep in mind, this was my neighborhood, not hers, so it wasn't likely that she or her family had any familiarity with this guy. I said, "If you know him, then what's his name?" She couldn't come up with anything, so I just rolled my eyes and kept dragging her back toward my house. The following year, she wanted to go trick-or-treating with me again, but I told her she was on her own. I wasn't going to be responsible from saving her from anything anymore. If she was too dense to avoid obvious peril, then that was on her, not me. What is with creeps who want to invite kids inside their houses? This happened to me almost every year of my childhood. There was one creeper who tried to bait kids inside one time. I was ahead of some younger kids, and there was this one house. No one liked the people inside, but free candy was free candy. Me and my friend get up to the door and knock. We see a lot of old people, mostly men, inside. There's no Halloween decorations inside, and the lone woman says, "You kids have to come inside to get your treats." A toddler in a little Scooby-Doo costume was about to step through, but I got in front and told him no, that no kid was going to get past them, and told my friend to go up and tell their parents. There was just really something suspicious about there being roughly 5 old men and 1 older woman waiting for kids and telling them to come inside. They tried to argue with me, and I told her, "You can't make kids come inside your house. That's against all of the rules that our parents tell us. That's creepy. You either bring it to the door, or I go up there and tell all those parents your demand." As it was a gaggle of really little kids, all their parents were waiting by the end of the long walkway. They did as I said, and we didn't even get any candy. It was all religious paraphernalia. If they weren't planning on raping us, they were at least planning on indoctrinating us. Either way, I was pissed and my friend had to calm me down. It was really, really creepy and never set well with me. Those people never set well with me 364 days of the year, and they didn't set well with me that night.